The screen lit up. Sarah. I almost didn't answer, but curiosity, or maybe a morbid sense of closure, got the better of me. "Hello," I said, my voice flat. A choked sob came through the speaker. "Mark, I don't know what to do." I waited, offering nothing. Let her fill the silence. She rambled about some guy named Chad ghosting her, something about Snapchat. I cut her off. Click. End of discussion. The line went dead, and so did a part of me. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Back then, Sarah was different. Or at least, I thought she was. I met her at a gallery opening downtown. She was laughing with a group of friends, a cascade of blonde hair and bright eyes. I remember thinking she was out of my league. An art student with a vibrant energy that drew everyone in. I bought her a drink, a cheap Pinot Grigio, and she actually seemed interested in what I did. "Software," I said, "it's not exactly art. But it pays the bills." She smiled, practical. I like that. Looking back, that practical comment should have been my first clue. A week later, she stood me up. "So sorry, babe. Got caught up with a project." The next time, it was drinks with the girls. I chalked it up to artistic temperament, the flightiness of a creative soul. You know, the whole opposites attract thing. Truth is, I was so smitten I ignored the warning signs, desperately wanting to believe in the Sarah I thought I saw that night. My career was taking off. I had a shot at a senior developer role, a real game changer. Sarah, however, saw it differently. "If we're going to make this work, Mark, I need to focus on my art." Translation: she needed me to pay the bills while she found herself. I turned down the promotion, opting for a less demanding position. More time for her, I reasoned. More time to be predictable, apparently. Then came the Instagram phase. Suddenly, every meal, every outfit, every filtered sunset needed to be documented. The likes, the comments, the validation, it was like a drug. Snapchat followed. With its fleeting, suggestive stories and carefully curated friends list. I remember joking, "Who are you trying to impress?" She'd laugh it off. "Just having fun, babe. Don't be so old-fashioned." And then there were the friends. Liam, the fellow artist who always seemed to linger a little too long, touching her arm a little too casually. Or Ben, the gym buddy whose shirtless selfies mysteriously populated her Snapchat stories. "Just friends, Mark. You're being paranoid." I wanted to believe her. I really did. But the seed of doubt had been planted, and it was starting to sprout. The credit card bills started to climb. "Art supplies," she'd say, flashing a disarming smile. A new designer bag appeared. A gift from Mom. But her mom lived on a fixed income. I was working harder than ever to keep up, and she was spending like there was no tomorrow. Looking back, I was an idiot. A predictable idiot. Financing her self-discovery. The tipping point? I saw a Snapchat story, a fleeting image of Sarah at a bar, laughing, with a guy I didn't recognize. His arm was around her, and she was leaning in close. It vanished in seconds, but the image burned into my brain. When I asked her about it, she said it was just a friend from art class. Art class met at dimly lit bars now? Are you serious, Mark? You're acting like a jealous boyfriend. It's just a friend. God, you're so insecure. The gaslighting started subtly, then escalated. I was the problem, not her. My predictability was stifling her creativity. My lack of trust was pushing her away. I was made to feel guilty for even questioning her actions, for wanting some semblance of reassurance. I tried to be the understanding boyfriend. Dinner every Friday, movie night on Saturdays. The same flowers every month. I was predictable, yes, But I thought that's what she wanted, stability. But in her eyes, I saw something else, boredom. A quiet disdain for my routine, my predictability. It was the look a cat gives a scratching post after it's found a more interesting tree. The girls' nights became more frequent. Every weekend, then twice a week. We're just blowing off steam, Mark. You wouldn't understand. The excuses were always the same, the details vague. I started to wonder if her girls even existed, or if they were just a convenient cover for something else. The predictable me stayed home, waiting. Even my buddy, Dave, noticed. "Hey man," he said over beers one night. "I saw Sarah at the Roxy last weekend. Seemed pretty cozy with some dude. Thought you should know." I brushed it off. "Nah, that's just Liam from her art class." But Dave's face told me everything. He knew, and deep down, so did I. I just wasn't ready to admit it. I accidentally left my laptop open one day. Sarah was logged into her Facebook. A message popped up from Liam. "Had a great time last night. Let's do it again soon, winky face." The winky face. It hit me like a punch to the gut. All the excuses, the gaslighting, the girls' nights. It all clicked into place. I wasn't just predictable. I was a fool. "What is this, Sarah?" I asked, holding up the laptop. She feigned innocence, then anger. "You were snooping. How dare you invade my privacy?" I didn't back down. I showed her the message. She scoffed. "It's just a joke. You're blowing it out of proportion." Then, the truth slipped out. "Maybe if you weren't so boring, I wouldn't need to look elsewhere." That was it. The line had been crossed. "Get out, Sarah," I said, my voice surprisingly calm. "I'm done." She tried to backtrack, to apologize, but the damage was done. I saw her for what she truly was, a manipulative, entitled woman who had used me for my stability and then blamed me for it. The predictability wasn't the problem. Her lack of respect was. I heard through the grapevine that Liam wasn't as artsy as she thought. And Ben? Apparently, shirtless selfies don't translate to commitment. One by one, her Snapchat flings faded away, leaving her alone and, dare I say, predictable. The validation she craved vanished as quickly as it appeared. It seems Chad and the rest of her suitors ghosted her. And that's when she called. The irony wasn't lost on me. The woman who craved constant attention was now desperately seeking it from the one person she had deemed too predictable. It was pathetic, really. She wanted comfort, validation, a shoulder to cry on. But I wasn't that guy anymore. So, I let her speak. Let her ramble about Chad, about feeling alone, about how no one understood her. And then, I did the most unpredictable thing of all. I hung up. No explanation, no argument, just silence. It was the ultimate act of defiance. The final punctuation mark on a relationship that should have ended long ago. It wasn't just about Sarah anymore. It was about recognizing the patterns, the subtle manipulations, the inherent need for validation that drives so much of modern female behavior. It was about understanding that predictable isn't a flaw, it's a strength. Stability, loyalty, and commitment are valuable traits, and I shouldn't be ashamed of possessing them. I threw myself back into my career. That senior developer role? I went after it with a vengeance and landed it. The extra money went into investments, not designer bags. I started working out again, focusing on my health, my well-being. It wasn't about revenge. It was about self-respect. About proving to myself that I was more than just predictable. I started to see things differently. The whole chase novelty thing? It's a trap. A hamster wheel of fleeting validation and empty promises. I began to understand the appeal of self-reliance, of building a life on my own terms. without the constant need for external approval. MGTOW? Red pill? Suddenly, it all made sense. You know, it's funny. She wanted excitement, unpredictability. She got it, all right. A revolving door of Chad types, all chasing the same fleeting dopamine hits. And me? I'm here building a life, laughing at the absurdity of it all. I guess being predictable has its perks after all, especially when the chaos comes crawling back. I'm not going to pretend I don't feel a twinge of satisfaction knowing she's struggling. But it's not schadenfreude, not really. It's more like closure. I don't need to gloat, to rub it in her face. My success, my happiness, is the only revenge I need. I'm moving on, and she's just a footnote in my story. The subtle karma is this. She's now searching for the very thing she pushed away: stability, loyalty, someone reliable. She's trading Snapchat filters for the harsh reality of a dating market that chews up and spits out women past a certain age. The irony is delicious and entirely of her own making. So, here's the wisdom, guys. Don't be afraid to be predictable. Find someone who appreciates your stability, your loyalty, your commitment. And if they don't, let them chase their Snapchat ghosts. You'll be too busy building something real to even notice when they come crawling back. Click.